He is a two-time national champion head coach of Clemson football who just prior to appearing on this program, news broke he's got a contract extension to stick around there through the 2031 season. He is back on the Rich Eisen Show, fresh off a win against Georgia Tech to kick off the season for his fifth-ranked Clemson team. Dabo Swinney back here on the Rich Eisen Show, Mercedes-Benz Vans phone line. How you doing, Coach?
I'm good, Rich. Good to be with you, man. Hope you're well.
I am doing fine. So congrats on the contract extension. How long has this been in the works for yourself?
Well, I appreciate it. And, honestly, it's something that our new AD, Graham Neff, approached, my agents about really last December. And so something that, and I think he just wanted to, he really kind of drove the timing, to be honest with you. And so just thankful and humbled and, grateful to him and our board and just, all the players and staff that we've had for all the years here and to have the opportunity to, call Clemson our home. I've been here. This is my 20th season and my 14th as the head coach. So it's been I've raised, as you said, you've got 3 kids. I've got 3 kids, and they all have grown up here in Clemson. My baby was born here, and so it's been I got 2 graduates of Clemson, and my youngest just became a freshman. So certainly a place that we love, and just thankful that got the opportunity to continue to do something that I love at a place I love.
Well, normally when I'm talking to somebody like yourself with your stature and your resume, and you've just signed an extension, a long-term extension, after having been where you are for so long, I would ask how things have changed since you've been there, and we all know how they've changed. So I guess my question with college football is what do you think it's going to look like in 2030? Coach, I think that's the more valuable question here with the state of affairs, don't you think?
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think it's what's it going to look like in 2024. It's probably more valid. It's a crazy time right now in college athletics. A lot of change, a lot of unknowns. I do think things are heading in a good direction. I think the popularity of the sport's never been better. That's for sure. And there's I think certainly some type of major change coming probably structurally sooner than later when it comes to, I think governance structure, how the Power Five is organized, and, we've got expansion coming. I mean, there's a lot of moving parts, but people love college football. There's no doubt about that. And I think we're well positioned. We've been a school that has kept the main thing for years, and we've been one of the top academic football programs in the country for many years now, and our plan is for that to continue to be the case, and to continue to win at a high level, on and off the field, and have a program that graduates our players and really builds them and equips them for whatever comes next after football and after Clemson, and make sure they have a good experience and make sure we win championships. And that really hasn't changed. But there's a lot of new things to navigate as we go through it. But I do think that, again, there's always unintended consequences from good changes that come about. But I think we're heading in a good direction. And, honestly, the more chaos, the better, in my opinion, because I think we kind of get there sooner than later, where ultimately I think it's going to be.
Well, I mean, and I know you're in the midst of a playing season now, and I know you're getting ready for Furman on your schedule, Louisiana Tech, and then your ACC schedule right after that. But this is the first time I have spoken to you since you said that the sport was headed for a complete blow-up, and you called the transfer portal total chaos, referring to it as tampering galore. So that would indicate that you thought that football was headed in the wrong direction. So have you changed your stance on those subject matters?
No. I still no. We still have chaos. I just think it's going to ultimately lead us where I think it's going, and that is a restructuring of college football. Because I think college football needs that. College football, in particular, the Power Five, need a new governance structure. And there's no doubt about that. And I think for the first time really since I've been in college athletics, the decision makers, I think, agree with that. And, figuring out what that looks like, I think, is the next step. But, there some of the unintended the transfer is good. The fact that guys can go places, that's great. But there's a lot of unintended consequences that come with that. And, there is tampering. There is some, young people being manipulated and making decisions for, wrong reasons. There's a lot of things that come with it, but the good from it far outweighs the bad. And I think it'll all settle out. It's chaotic for sure right now. I don't think there's ever been more chaos when it comes to just, where we are organizationally, structurally, governance-wise, enforcement of rules, all those type of things. There's a lot of moving parts. But I do think that is going to ultimately drive us to a better place, and bring about some of the, I think, big changes that need to happen in college football.
Well, I mean, those changes would probably be easier to implement if there was a smaller subset of schools in its own world to govern themselves, right? And I'm here in Los Angeles, Dabo Swinney, otherwise now known as Big Ten country, which I never thought was possible.
Yeah.
Right. So the question is what? Let's just say there's a smaller subset of schools, right? And you're part of it.
Yeah.
And they ask you, what do you think needs to be done to guardrail matters? What would be your stance on, say, NIL on that front? Just the guardrail on that. Anything?
Yeah, well, there's the NIL is great, but in some instances it's being used in a way it's not intended. I think the NIL is another great opportunity for us to further equip our guys to be ready for the world. It's a part of the education process, and it's things that we've always tried to equip our guys with financial literacy and tax education and all these things. And so now you've got a chance to have some real world application of that, which I think would be good. But I think just, again, if the way you're structured now, it's just not feasible anymore. And honestly, it's probably been antiquated for a while, but and I'm not saying, I think there still should be, there's definitely a role for the NCAA. You have to have order. You have to have structure. You have to have some type of guidelines and rules in place. And without it, it does lead to chaos and uncertainty. And we've got a situation right now in college football where it's a mess. It's a lot of gray. I mean, and that leads to, tampering and a lot of people being involved that don't need to be involved. And I think more importantly, it distracts from the main thing, and that is our responsibility in college athletics. That is to educate young people. I believe that we have to stay focused on the scholastic aspect of college athletics. And, we know 98% of these young men are not going to play in the pros. And we have to equip them. And I think, as we modernize the game, modernize the structure, further share and incentivize players, but do it through the academic process and incentivize education and graduation and all those things. So I think there's a lot of moving parts and people a lot smarter than me that will figure out. But I do think to do that, you've got to have a different governance structure, because you can't have, we have a football oversight committee, for example, and the makeup of that is not reflective of the needs from the Power Five, if you will. Mm-hmm. And that's, whether that's good or bad or whatever, that's just the way it is. And then you have an NCAA council where you're trying to make soccer the same as football or whatever, and it's just, there's just different worlds, and I think that there's a real role still for the NCAA, but I do think being able to streamline things and be much more efficient in decisions that need to happen, like that could happen in a day or a week, takes years, and that whole process is just, it just doesn't work. And, so that's what I mean by the more chaos, the better, because I think ultimately it's driving everything to a better place that we're going to land. When do we get there? I don't know. Is it next year? Is it 24? Is it 2031, as you said there? I don't know. But I do think there has to be some type of break where things can be done on a timely manner that are reflective of the membership. And so it's just not our reality right now. But I do think college football will get there at some point. And there'll be a lot of smart people. And what does that look like? Is there a commissioner? Are there leagues? Or are they divisions?
Mm-hmm.
And, as the expansion grows, and how all that gets shaken out, a lot of smart people will figure it out. But I know this, man. Our main objective is to build great men through this game, and to make sure that we teach them to use the game and not let the game use them. And that has to be the objective. And college athletics provides access and opportunity and relationships and experiences, and opportunities to create life-changing transformation, throughout people's lives. So I think it's a great platform, and again, a lot of good days ahead. And,
sure.
Sometimes you got to go through some stuff, but we're going to get there.
Well, I mean, in terms of getting there faster, which you've said a couple times, 2 minutes left here with Dabo Swinney, the Clemson head coach. Your domino could blow this thing completely up if you choose, or Clemson chooses to tap out of the ACC at some point. And I understand there's television rights and things that make my eyes glaze over, and I'm sure my listeners and viewers, as well as your eyes glaze over as well. But if Clemson decides to move on and join another conference, that would speed this process up, I think, considerably. Notre Dame's another one, and you guys play each other. By the way, get ready for these questions that week leading up to that game too, Dabo Swinney. But how active is Clemson on that front right now? Can you share with us?
Oh man, I have no idea. I leave that up to the people that are involved. Man, we've been a charter member of the ACC for a long time. We got a great league. Yeah, there's some complications. There's some challenges. But again, I think ultimately it's going to all be driven by a group of people that eventually will get in a room together and put all feelings aside and do what's best for college football. I think ultimately we'll get there. And I think things where we are right now is probably going to be very different in a couple of years. And we'll probably looking back at today and go, well, I thought this was going to happen, and it didn't. So I don't know about all that stuff. I just know that, my job is to have our team ready and to make sure that we have a program that, is a model program in college football. And that's what we're going to continue to do, whether we're in the ACC, the SEC, the Big Ten, the Big 12, the Pac, whatever, or the New World College Football League. I have no idea. Man, we're gonna. Clemson is a special place, and going to always be a special place, and it'll always be one of those programs that's going to have a seat at the table.
Do you like the 12-team playoff idea that was forwarded and apparently approved? Do you like that, Coach?
Well, I mean, I'm a traditional college guy, and I'll be honest with you, I like the BCS. I thought that was just fine, and
wow.
the 4 was just fine.
You like the computers? You like the computers and the slide rule and all those? You like that? I couldn't figure it out.
I just think that. Well, I think with the governance structure, that's one of the reasons why I think there needs to be a new governance structure, because having a tournament with 131 teams, for football, because football is really not a tournament sport.
Yes.
And I think it waters it down, and that's another reason why I think if expansion is what we want, then there has to be some change there. The NFL there's a reason why they have 32 teams, and so it is what it is. People want that, and there's some consequences that will come with that. I think it's going to be great. People love college football, and people think that more is better, and and maybe that will be the case, and a lot of people can debate, but there will be some consequences with that when it comes to, maybe some in-season type of things. But I'm excited about it, and because again, we all knew this was coming, so the sooner the better, because then we can move on and focus on, what we got to do to manage getting our teams ready and what's the calendar going to look like, how do we, prepare, all those things, because there'll be a lot of change that will come with a 12-team playoff. So it'll certainly create more access for more teams, but we'll be ready and willing here to participate in however it shakes out.
Before I let you
12 or 8 or 16 or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Before I let you go, do you have a quarterback competition maybe on your hands in your current team?
Oh, we got a left tackle competition, a receiver competition, a running back competition, a quarterback competition. I mean, we've got 3 5-star quarterbacks in our room, and DJ has earned the right to be the starter without question, and but we got Cade has demonstrated that, man, he can win for us based on what we've seen in practice, and then we finally got a chance to get a little bit of game experience, but he's certainly proven that, hey, he deserves the opportunity to play within the flow of the game or season as we go, and so nobody has a lifetime contract. In college football, man, you got to show up every week, and you got to go prove it and earn it. And I don't think we're any different than a lot of places out there. But we're very fortunate, man. We've got really good players. DJ is a very talented young man, and did a lot of good things last week, especially in the second half. And then to be able to get Cade in there was a blessing too. So, hopefully we can get Hunter Johnson some opportunity as well. He's another, very talented player. So we've got a good situation, and but we certainly have competition at every position, which I think makes us, a team that has an opportunity to compete for this league.
And last one for you, Coach. I have not seen a quarterback come into the league like Trevor Lawrence and have a set of circumstances surround him in his first year quite like what Trevor Lawrence went through last year. Have you spoken with him and connected with him about what happened last year and how this year? I mean, you talk about a fresh start. My goodness, I don't even know how you can evaluate him off of that first season. Quite frankly, so
of course. I've seen him, talked to him, and many times. During the season last year, after the season. This preseason, I mean, he's in a great place. No matter what happens, we all learn and grow from the good and the bad.
Right.
Sometimes you learn more from the bad than the good. But he's in a good place, and man, he loves where they are, and I don't have any doubt that he's got better days ahead. With both individually and then also with their team there in Jacksonville. So I'm excited to see him get back at it, and he's excited. And just like I said, he's grown a lot and learned a lot. Again, good and bad, and he'll build on that.
Coach, thanks for the time. Greatly appreciate it. Let's connect down the line, if you don't mind, throughout the season. Your Clemson Tigers well positioned after 1 week. It's early on, but I appreciate the 2 cents figuratively, and then congratulations on your dollars and cents and your long-term contract for your family.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Take care. That's Dabo Swinney, the head coach of Clemson football, here on the Rich Eisen Show.